the opening of the Demon Kingdom's doors mere days away, the entire snowy plateau suddenly fell into a deathly stillness. Whether among the four great families or the resistance army, an unspoken calm had descended. Yet those who understood the times knew this was merely the calm before the storm. The calmer it was now, the more ferocious the subsequent eruption would be. Sunga Temple. Deiji sat on the sofa in his study, clad in the purple robe symbolizing the Sunga Temple's chief monk, fingering his prayer beads. Deiji thought to himself, the doors of the Demon Kingdom are about to open. When that time comes, I must journey there alongside the Undertaker. Deiji now understood that all major factions across the snowy plateau were stirring with ambition. But so what? He harbored no concern whatsoever. Even if the Yashilangtai clan were destroyed after their departure, it would merely anger him. As long as the Undertaker remained, and he remained, the Yashilangtai clan would continue to rule the snowy plateau. The only thing I need to worry about now is what happens after we enter the Demon Kingdom. Deiji frowned. There were things only the Undertaker knew, things even he was unaware of. Starting with the hero King Geezer, every generation of Undertaker inherited the epic of King Geezer, imprinted in their minds from birth. This legacy wasn't King Geezer's way of glorifying his own deeds, within its text lay secrets concerning the Demon Kingdom. Deiji didn't know how perilous the Demon Kingdom truly was, but according to ancient prophecies, King Geezer's reincarnation would emerge 1,000 years later to utterly annihilate this threat to the snowy region's security. He rose to his feet, intending to seek out the Undertaker for a proper conversation before departure. He inquired about the Undertaker's whereabouts. A novice monk replied, "These past days, the Undertaker has been in deep meditation in the quiet chamber of the west courtyard. No one is permitted to disturb him." Naturally, no one at Sunga Temple dared to spy on the Undertaker. With his abilities, no movement within the entire temple could escape his notice. Thus, the matter of Wangwa chief monk sending him a beauty remained unknown to outsiders. Deiji heard that the Undertaker devoted himself to Buddhist practice and gave a faint nod. After all, the Undertaker had been deeply immersed in Dharma, spending most of his time studying sutras. Deiji then headed toward the Undertaker's quiet room in the western courtyard. Arriving outside the courtyard, he knocked on the doors and stepped back half a pace. After a moment, the courtyard doors screeched open. The Undertaker stood before Deiji, a gentle smile in his eyes. Deiji suddenly sensed a change in the Undertaker, an indescribable shift. The man remained the same, yet his aura had transformed in ways he couldn't quite place. Deiji didn't know that in these past few days, the Undertaker had become a true man. The shift from boy to man was starkly evident. After several days of meditation with Lu Ruyan, the Undertaker felt all his past confusion and perplexities dissolve. He finally grasped the nature of worldly love and affection, his heart becoming crystal clear. Deiji Chiba. The Undertaker greeted him. "Burial Master, we are about to set out for the Great Snow Mountains. Have you made all necessary preparations? This journey will likely be extremely perilous, utmost caution is required." The Undertaker lifted the corners of his mouth, smiling as he said, "All is as it must be. The history of the Demon Kingdom is destined to come to an end." His tone now sounded more like that of a true man. The Undertaker gazed toward the towering Great Snow Mountains in the distance. "I will restore everything to how it should be." Deiji pondered for a moment, assuming the Undertaker had achieved another breakthrough in his Buddhist studies. He immediately nodded approvingly. "I too am honored to witness this turning point in history." Over the next few days, the four great clans gathered their most elite warriors. This included mutants possessing formidable combat and support abilities, as well as specialized soldiers skilled in various techniques. It could be said each clan had drawn heavily upon their reserves. After all, the Demon Kingdom was rumored to be perilous beyond measure. To ensure the successful acquisition of its treasures, they had to be thoroughly prepared. Precisely for this reason, Pa Jigsaw was requested to remain behind and oversee affairs on the snowy plateau. The Pa Ji family needed no further discussion. With the assistance of Zhang Yi and the others, their top-tier combat strength was beyond concern. Only a contingent of about 500 individuals with specialized skills, led by Zhangde, was deployed. The Xiaja and La Men families followed a similar approach. Undercurrents swirled beneath the surface of the snowy plateau, yet time marched onward, swiftly bringing the appointed day. On that day, the forces of the four great families assembled in the vast plaza before Sunga Temple. Zhang Yi and his group blended into the ranks, each clad in combat gear that obscured their features. Yet their advanced weaponry made them easily identifiable as mercenaries. Beyond them, the Paji family had recruited additional personnel. Zhang Yi had glimpsed them a few times, including 2 individuals with over 9,000 points of power. Pa Jigsan had paid a considerable price to secure their services. The vast formation, comprising the 4 Tusi families and the Sunga Temple's monk soldiers, numbered 2 to 3,000, a truly spectacular sight. Zhang Yi's gaze swept over the other families' ranks, and sure enough, he spotted figures as conspicuous as his own. Their clothing was too obvious. Battle required combat uniforms. It was impossible to deliberately wear outdated styles from the snowy region to conceal their identities. Those guys are way too easy to spot. Just beat them up based on their clothes. Uncle Yu wrapped his arms around his thick frame, a grim, cold smile curling his lips. After realizing these people likely came from other nations, he had set his sights on them. But haven't they also set their sights on us? Fatty Su voiced his concern anxiously. Zhang Yi's lips curved slightly as he remarked leisurely, "We've long been aware of each other's existence, though we may not yet fully confirm each other's identities. What follows now depends on whose skills prove superior." He lowered his head, revealing a cat's head peeking out from his collar. Flower was nestled inside his clothes, contentedly dozing with eyes closed. Zhang Yi stroked the cat's head. "I'll remind you again, once we depart, don't stray a single step from me. I have a premonition." His gaze grew deep, as if dark currents were churning within. "This time, many will die." Zhang Yi's words made Fatty Su shrink his neck. He had once considered asking Zhang Yi if he could enter Mu Yan's shadow space to stand by, but Zhang Yi had rejected him without mercy. Fatty Su's talent wasn't the highest in the team, but it was combat-oriented. This kind of ability required constant honing, gaining strength through continuous battles. Otherwise, what use would he be? Making ice cream at home? As Zhang Yi sized up those individuals, they were likewise scrutinizing the mercenaries within other military formations. Behind La Menoju, the towering mutant clad in snow-white combat gear stood arms crossed, his gaze unabashedly sweeping over the mutants in the surrounding teams. La Menoju wore a black bearskin coat. Her slightly pale face always bore a haughty expression. Yet, as they neared the Demon Kingdom, even this head of the La Men family felt a tinge of nervousness. She glanced at the towering mutant beside her and whispered, "Mr. Lancelot, are you confident in this operation?" Lancelot chuckled softly at her question. "Of course. Who do you think I am?" He leaned close to her ear and murmured, "Just wait to become the new snowy region leader. Once I obtain what lies beneath the great snow mountains, I'll fulfill your wish too." La Menoju took a deep breath, not entirely trusting Lancelot's words. But now, she had no other choice but to believe him. Among the blue-clad mutants of the Xiaja clan, one pair of eyes quietly surveyed the surroundings. The Brahma tribe revered gold, hence their battle attire predominantly featured golden hues. Of course, with modern optical technology, color camouflage posed little challenge. This golden tint wouldn't reflect in the snow, only becoming discernible at close range. One pair of eyes cautiously settled on Zhang Yi and his companions in the distance. Noticing this, Xiaja Gyatso approached and inquired, "What is it? Have you encountered someone troublesome?" The golden-armored mutant turned back, offering a faint smile. "Prepare yourself. This time, more than one wolf is hunting the Demon Kingdom's treasure." Xiaja Gyatso's gaze darkened slightly. "More people is good. More people means we have a better chance to fish in troubled waters." He looked toward the towering, imposing Sunga temple. The Undertaker and Deiji had already arrived ahead of the group. Relying solely on us to seize the treasure from Sunga Temple would be like snatching food from a tiger's mouth. But now that there are troublemakers involved, our chances are even greater. The golden-armored mutant smiled broadly. It's not just greater chances. His smile faded, replaced by a focused, confident gaze. It's that we absolutely must obtain those treasures of the Demon Kingdom. New Resistance Army Camp. Snow Eagle Luozhua gazed at the distant mountains. The range before him lay still as if lifeless, seemingly impervious to any disturbance. Yet the thought of what was about to unfold made Luozhua involuntarily inhale a sharp breath of icy air. After waiting 2.5 long years, it's finally time to bring this to a close. Dolma approached Luozhua, her gaze filled with concern. Lord Eagle, are you truly going to the Demon Kingdom? It's far too dangerous there. And without you, we alone may not succeed. Luozhua had instructed them, once all the snowy region's elite warriors departed for the Demon Kingdom, it would be the perfect moment, when the 4 great Tussi clans in Sunga Temple were most vulnerable. Launching an attack then would be ideal. Yet Dolma remained uneasy. The resistance army's strength was too weak. Without Luozhua, they couldn't even stand against a single clan. A mysterious smile touched Luozhua's face. Do you think our strength is weak? At his words, Dolma instinctively glanced back at the camp's elderly, infirm, and disabled. 70% of the resistance army were the aged and weak, only 30% were usable warriors. Luozhua chuckled. Don't forget, a single spark can ignite burning fields. Over the past 2.5 years, I've planted countless seeds within the 4 great clans in Sunga Temple. Now, these embers are about to blaze fiercely. Dolma gasped. You mean the hidden agents you've planted? Luozhua's hidden agents were known only to him. They had lain dormant for a long time. Some had been his men from the very beginning, yet in the past, they had never received any orders. Luozhua had instructed them to remain hidden until the full-scale war erupted. Even when comrades died horribly before their eyes, they must remain utterly indifferent. Luozhua narrowed his eyes, feeling an immense sense of satisfaction. Everything was for this day. As long as I prevent Jugo and the local Tussi from obtaining the Demon Kingdom's treasures, we can secure final victory. He let out a long, piercing cry. 2 enormous golden wings unfurled behind him with a resounding whoosh. His entire form transformed into a colossal golden-winged rock, soaring beyond the mountains and rivers. Once everyone had gathered, Deiji delivered a few perfunctory lines, mere ceremonial platitudes, instructing the group to obey the Undertaker and his commands once they entered the Demon Kingdom. Then, the army set off. Pa Jigsaw remained behind to guard the home, though with Zhang Yi present, his presence was hardly necessary. He addressed Zhang Yi, the troops are in your hands. Should the need arise, they are all prepared to sacrifice themselves. Please show no mercy. Zhang Yi sighed, though my heart aches, for the greater cause, this is what must be done. The vast army marched forth, setting out for the Great Snow Mountain. Though Pa Jigsaw would not enter the subterranean Demon Kingdom, he still escorted Zhang Yi and the others all the way to the Great Snow Mountain. When Zhang Yi first came here, he used a primitive method, space traversal, to locate the place. However, for ordinary people arriving here, finding that location without guidance from the 4 great Tussi lords was extremely difficult. The entrance was extremely well hidden, and the underground passages were winding and complex. This time, following the main group, it took Zhang Yi over half an hour to reach the subterranean entrance. It was the same familiar place, massive stone doors, with a vast open area before them now pooled into a sea of blood. A foul stench made everyone involuntarily wrinkle their noses. This wasn't ordinary blood odor, but a putrid, decaying stench. A lama from Sunga Temple stepped forward, raising his hand to unleash a torrent of flames. The intense heat quickly evaporated the pool of blood. Deiji led the way, followed closely by the other 3 Tussi. Each retrieved a stone slate from their possession and inserted it into the subtle recesses of the bluestone doors. This must be the key Pa Jigsaw mentioned. Zhang Yi murmured to himself. He recalled what the Undertaker had done to the stone doors during their last visit, channeling the power of all 5 of them. Seems like opening this door requires not only a key, but also immense power. And clearly, the Undertaker himself couldn't manage it. Yang Xinxin's voice came through the communication channel. Hearing this, Zhang Yi remarked, "This stone door seems like a seal, severely restricting supernatural abilities. Since none of us could break through with our individual power, the force behind the doors surely couldn't either." Yet at this moment, Yang Xinxin uttered a chilling statement. Perhaps 1,000 years ago, whoever erected this stone gate deliberately set such stringent conditions for opening it to prevent future generations from overestimating their strength and forcibly breaching the stone door. In other words, only those possessing sufficient power to open the stone door can confront the so-called demon kingdom power beyond it. But now, the Undertaker has only succeeded by leveraging your power. Yang Xinxin's words struck at the heart of the matter. The power beyond the stone doors must be terrifying. Even King Geezer, the hero of 1,000 years ago, could only use the doors to separate the 2 worlds, never to utterly destroy the demon kingdom. Yet every person present harbored ulterior motives, their own conflicts simmering beneath the surface. Once beyond the stone doors, could they truly unite their efforts and succeed in claiming the demon kingdom's treasures? Zhang Yi's eyes narrowed slightly as he silently took half a step back. After the 4 Tusi wedged the stone slate into the stone doors, the Undertaker Jugo stepped forward. He placed his powerful palm upon the stone doors, a complex, indecipherable expression flickering in his eyes. A mix of dazed bewilderment and strange familiarity. Yet his gaze swiftly hardened into resolve. Rumble! As he exerted force, the 50-meter-tall colossal stone doors began creaking open inch by inch. Soon, a crack appeared. Yet as the opening widened, a chilling, eerie laughter echoed from beyond the stone doors, piercing the ears of all present. Zhang Yi stared intently at the stone doors. His ability to track everything through the trail had locked onto it. Should any danger arise, he would immediately lead his men to safety. Clatter! A tidal wave of sound surged forth, seemingly carrying masses of pebbles within its current. A flash of white light erupted before the Undertaker's eyes, followed by a skull hurtling straight toward his face. His form swiftly retreated. The next instant, a white torrent gushed out from behind the stone doors. Everyone was utterly horrified. With over 2,000 people crammed into the narrow space, retreating was difficult. Many were instantly swallowed by the white wave. Zhang Yi hid behind others, dodging just in time to avoid being caught in the surge. But soon, they saw clearly what the white wave truly was. It was a vast pile of stark white bones. The bones poured out from behind the stone doors, quickly piling up like a mountain before it. Deji addressed the crowd, "No need to panic. These bones, along with the blood water earlier, are merely relics left behind by King Geezer and Guru Padmasambhava when they sealed away the demon clan long ago." With Yang Xinxin's assistance, Zhang Yi had previously researched historical records of the Snowy Plateau. That Padmasambhava was also a high-ranking master of Tantra. It was he who, alongside King Geezer, overthrew the demon kingdom. "Chief Deji, are you saying this is a sealed object?" A voice slowly emerged from the crowd, a mercenary from the Xiaja family. Deji cast him a measured glance, then began explaining to ease the other's apprehension. "This doors is called the Gate of Eternal Separation. After King Geezer defeated the demonic kingdom, they fled back to the abyss beneath the earth. It is said the demon clan draw their power from the abyss. They must make daily sacrifices to it to sustain their strength. That place is also their final resting place. King Geezer and Padmasambhava once attempted to assault the abyss, but its environment was so inhospitable that ordinary beings couldn't survive. Their armies fell the moment they entered. Ultimately, upon Padmasambhava's counsel, King Geezer forged this Gate of Eternal Separation. He prophesied that one day, whoever opened this gate would bring an end to the demon kingdom's calamity. He pointed at the stark white bones before them. Within these doors lies the fused flesh and blood of 100,000 demon clan and fallen warriors. Their corpses piled behind the doors form a barrier of spirits, preventing the demon kingdom's inhabitants from re-emerging. Only now did the group understand the origin of these bones. 100,000 souls, mere lines in history books, yet witnessing them firsthand delivered a staggering impact. Everyone, let us proceed. Remember, the demon kingdom is perilous. You must follow our orders without question. Disobey, and you bear the consequences. Deji shot a warning glance at the representatives of the other 3 clans, his tone unmistakably stern. Once the musty stench behind the stone gate dissipated, the Undertaker stepped through the doors into the demon kingdom first. The monk soldiers of the Yashi Langtai family and the private guards of Sunga temple followed closely behind. Zhang Yi glanced at the doors. Beyond lay utter darkness, obscuring all sight. Yet an eerie, terrifying aura lingered, as if a pair of eyes watched them from the shadows, sending chills down their spines. The others exchanged glances before following suit. With the Undertaker leading the way, their hearts felt considerably steadier. Pa Jigsaw took his leave from Zhang Yi and departed. Afterward, Zhang Yi, accompanied by his companions and the Pa Ji family's 500 elite troops, stepped through the mysterious stone doors. Fully armed and clad in combat gear, Zhang Yi felt less anxious about surprise attacks thanks to his ability. Everything follows the trail. Yet upon passing through the stone doors, even Zhang Yi was startled by the world that greeted them. Clatter. Bones lay piled high, forming a towering mound. The stone doors stood right in the center of this mountain. All they could see before them were bones, and one careless step could send them tumbling into the depths. But the true horror lay beyond. Zhang Yi slowly ascended the bone mountain, gazing into the distance, his heart trembling with overwhelming shock. The others followed, surveying the scene from above, equally stunned. For beyond the bone mountain stretched an endless ocean. A sea of blood, reeking of decay, pulsing with the thick stench of death. Only then did Zhang Yi realize the origin of the blood he had first encountered. The sea of blood stretched endlessly, its horizon lost to the eye. Over 2,000 people emerged from the stone doors, only to be confronted by this scene. Yet they weren't unprepared. From the Yashi Langtai clan, warriors immediately opened backpacks, retrieving leather bundles that swiftly transformed into kayaks along the Blood Sea's edge. Soon, dozens of kayaks appeared at the shoreline. They boarded and paddled toward the opposite shore. The other clans were similarly prepared. Zhang approached, inviting Zhang Yi to join them aboard a canoe. Zhang Yi considered it and did not refuse. Though he could fly, he preferred not to draw undue attention at this moment. He boarded a kayak with Zhang, while 2 soldiers paddled alongside. Over 100 kayaks moved steadily forward. No one knew what dangers lay ahead, so they dared not paddle too quickly. On Paji's side, a soldier dipped his hand into the blood river, then addressed Zhang and Zhang Yi. "Captain, Mr. Jia, this water contains extremely potent corpse poison. No living creature could survive in it." This soldier was a mutant capable of controlling toxins, so he wasn't concerned about being affected. Zhang nodded. "Good. With such a vast sea of blood, we'd be in serious trouble if a monster suddenly attacked us." Though clad in combat suits, swimming across this boundless sea of blood was clearly impossible. If their canoes were destroyed, they'd be as good as finished. No sooner had Zhang finished speaking than a shriek pierced the air nearby. "Ah!" Zhang Yi and Zhang's eyes narrowed sharply as they swiftly scanned the direction of the sound. They saw a soldier pointing frantically toward the distance, panic etched across his face. Something's there." Following his gesture, they saw something rising and falling within the blood sea. Soon, similar cries erupted from other locations. There's someone in the water. Over here too. Prepare for battle." The soldiers had come here with a resolve to die if necessary. Yet, faced with such an eerie phenomenon, the fear within them was impossible to conceal. Just then, a plump lama from Sunga temple rose to his feet, his gaze fixed sharply on a specific ripple in the water. He drew a long chain from his sleeve and flung it with all his might toward the target. Splash! The sound of water echoed as a blood-red shadow was dragged from the sea of blood. The plump llama cautiously tossed the thing onto the boat. Upon closer inspection, he suddenly sneered coldly, "I thought it was something else. Just a corpse." He shouted to those around him, "No need to worry. It's merely a corpse." Hearing it was a corpse, the people nearby relaxed considerably, having feared some kind of eerie creature. But Zhang Yi and the others dared not let their guard down for a moment. "No! Why would there be a corpse here?" Zhang Yi shouted. His words alerted everyone. The corpse appeared well preserved, as if death had come only recently. Rising and falling with the tide, where would so many corpses come from? The poison-controlling mutant explained earlier, the potent toxin can kill microorganisms on the corpse, achieving an anti-decay effect lasting a long time. Over at the Paji side, someone had also retrieved a body from the water. Zhang Yi and the others gathered around to take a closer look. Sure enough, they found the corpse's appearance bizarre. His clothes were completely stained red, obscuring his features, but his height was significantly taller than average, easily 2 meters 50 or 60. The most striking feature was the deeply carved pattern of an eye on his forehead. Without a closer look, one might have thought he possessed 3 eyes. Deiji sucked in a sharp breath and immediately declared to everyone, "This is a demon clan from the Demon Kingdom." According to ancient texts, demon clan members are towering in stature, with the tallest reaching over 20 feet. Moreover, they worship the demon eye, and every demon clan member bears its mark etched upon their brow. We've found a demon clan member's corpse here. It proves they haven't been eradicated, they're still thriving and multiplying. We came to the right place. None of them had expected to encounter demon clan members so swiftly. Though they were corpses, this confirmed that their enemies lay across the sea. Yang Xinshin remarked, "This vast sea of blood is actually made from corpses." Recalling the chilling mountain of white bones they'd seen earlier, Liang Yu couldn't help but utter, "A mountain of corpses, a sea of blood." Zhang Yi's gaze swept coldly around the surroundings. The sea of blood flowed slowly, rippling faintly, enveloped in an overall deathly silence. The mountain of corpses is the Tantra seal, meant to block the demon clan. Then this sea of blood might be the Demon Kingdom seal, designed to halt King Geyser's army. In that ancient battle, both sides fought to the brink of collapse, forcing them to retreat. King Geyser won, though it was a hard-fought victory, leading him to choose to carry this conflict into future generations. If the Undertaker truly is the reincarnation of past generations, then... His gaze drifted toward the Undertaker's kayak in the distance. Has he come personally after a millennium to resolve the unfinished business of 1,000 years ago? Just as Zhang Yi was deep in thought, his innate ability to sense everything follows the trail suddenly alerted him to an anomaly. Without a word, he immediately pulled the clothes by Janda and Fatty Sue backward.